Hi guys, welcome back. It's UK here with another vid. What's that? It looks slightly misplaced. Well, it's not been a great Christmas New Year, as you can see. I broke my glasses. I fell asleep and rolled over. Hopefully, though, by the end of the first week of January, they should be repaired. But until then, if they fall off during this video, just laugh at me. Everybody else does. Anyway, first things first. I hope you all had a really good Christmas. And I hope that you had a great new year. And I'm hoping that 2022 will be perfect for all of us. And we can get lots of hobby stuff done. And COVID can off out the window and go away. And we can get back to the real world. However, I thought this would be a good opportunity to do one of those end of one year, beginning of another sort of vid. And think about how the last year has gone for me. So where to start? The last year has had its ups and downs. There's been some good, there's been some bad, there's been lots of in the middle grey. So where should we start? Let's start with the role-playing side of things. Compared to where we had been when there was no gaming going on, I've now got a tabletop group going again with my old Sunday night guys, and every other Sunday I'm in an online D&D 5th edition campaign. So the online game, if you watch my vids from a few months back, you'll see that I saw a video by Ginny D about playing online, and it's never been something I've really liked. I like the face-to-face interaction between people. I think that's much more enjoyable. But I thought, I've got to give it a try. And at the end of the day, D&D 5th, as much as it doesn't interest me, it's an easy enough system that you can play online. So there's a group of 6 of us, and we play through Roll20, and it's I want to say not Icewind Dale, Frozen North type campaign. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. And to start with, I was really getting into it. We were role playing again, and it was great. I've got to be honest though, my enthusiasm for it over the last few months has kind of gone, and it's disappearing. Partly it's the fact that I don't like D&D 5th. 4th and 5th edition basically took everything that was really good with D&D and threw it out the window, in my opinion. I don't know, it's hard to put into words. In a normal D&D campaign, you would find treasure, you'd find magic items. You had spells and abilities that did something, and I just kind of feel that 5th is lacking that. And so I'm slipping the interest a little bit. To the point I have noticed that, we haven't played now since start of December. We've had a Christmas break. But I noticed that sitting there, I've got the map up on Roll20. I've got my phone going with the Discord chat. My friend Jay, for my birthday back in October, bought me a set of headphones so I can actually hear and talk to them properly. And that's great. But then I've also, over here, I've got another window open where I'm looking at crap on Google. Or I'm working on the Jurassic World CCG Magic ripoff for my own personal interest. I'm not paying attention to the game like I should be doing, like I would be doing if it was a real face-to-face campaign. I'm going to stick to it. We do get a session where I do get my interest in there a bit more, but I'm going to stick to it. But I'm just not a fan of the system. I'm not a fan of online play. So that was a bit of a lead up into something good during the summer, and it's kind of just begun to fall apart towards the end of the year. And the same sort of thing has sort of happened with the tabletop role playing. Before COVID struck, I had just started running a campaign for Pathfinder First Edition for the guys. I basically combined that with the old Spelljammer campaign setting, with some tweaks and stuff. But we'd got about 6-7 sessions in, and everything went pear-shaped. And we never got to start playing again until the end of the summer, basically, here. Once lockdowns were ended and people could mix again, nobody wanted to. They even said, we can all wear masks, we can all spread out around the table, we can do this. And nobody wanted to, which I can understand. But at the same point, it was like, for fifth sake, I want to get some gaming again. It's a little bit selfish on my part, I admit it, but that's how I was feeling. It was very frustrating. By the time we've come back and the guys agreed to a gaming group again, face to face around the table, the impetus, that's not the right word, the drive or whatever that was fueling that Spelljammer campaign had gone. We'd been nearly 18 months, almost. And I'd lost interest, and the guys had probably lost interest. And so I thought, right, let's try and come up with something. So if you've seen, I've done some videos for when we've played a campaign that I have called Chaos and Limbo. It's basically a remodding, a reskinning, taking the bare bones groundwork of a campaign that I really enjoy, and I've mentioned far too many times on this channel, called The Shackled City. It's basically rewriting that majorly. It's not being done word for word, the dungeons aren't the same, but it's using those concepts and ideas, changing around, and it's really, really good. But again, I've gone from being really happy about it to being not unhappy, but a little bit peeled off, because right now I'm having to be the GM, which is fine. I enjoy GMing, but I really want to be a player again. I'm kind of really missing out the sitting at the table, rolling the dice, playing my character. But nobody else wanted to step up to the plate, as it were, which was a little bit frustrating. So in a way, I'm glad that we've just had this Christmas break, because it might mean that when we come back in a week's time from tomorrow, the online game starts again tomorrow. I think we go back on the 9th, is that right? Yeah. The little break might have done me some good. I still need to do a little bit of work for that session, because there's 2 potential plots where they can go, and I've heavily done one side of it and I've not paid enough attention to the other. So I need to do that. So I'm hoping that's going to pick up again and people are going to roleplay. The other thing is, I like Pathfinder, I really do, but I want to play some other games. I want to run some other games, but the people around here are probably not going to want to play the sort of stuff that I'm interested in doing, which is a little bit frustrating. And I'm sure this is all part of the fact that we have been stuck in COVID, because this would never have been an issue before that. Pardon me. And I'm sure it's all just part of, we're all having mental health issues. We're all having the stress of working under all this, or not being able to go out like we wanted to, or, well, you know how things are. Not everybody has, well, I don't think anybody has been perfect with it. Everybody's had some sort of mental health, even if it's just a little bit of depression, a little bit fed up, what have you. But for somebody whose life, pretty much from their teenage years, finding role-playing games and what have you, has been, this is my thing, this is my bag, baby. It's been a really frustrating 2 years. And it's taken me a little bit of time to try and get back into that. And I don't know. I'm just really hoping that 2022 will be the year that we can get back to it. Again, just before COVID hit, I had also been running one night in the week every fortnight. Another campaign, Adventure Path, Curse of the Crimson Throne. The guys keep asking about that, but I'm like, it's been 2 years since we played that. I'm sure the guys have got their notes and everything. I'm not sure I've got the notes of who and what, where, and I don't even know whether everybody wants to go back into it. But if everything starts to turn around, maybe we can get back into that as well. That's where the role-playing side of things is. Wargaming, it never really stopped in 2021. Things were sufficient enough that I was able to play. 40k is still major. The majority of people are enjoying 9th edition locally. But again, there are members of the local club who don't want to mingle at the moment, or they're not comfortable with people coming around their house or going around other people's house. They liked having somewhere they could go to on a Thursday night to wargame and throw some dice and move some models. So I've ended up playing about the same 5 people over and over again. 2 of them especially so, that it's got a bit samey. We've had a new guy at work, a young lad who has just got into the hobby, and he's very enthusiastic. And you know how that can sometimes be. You just kind of go, look, shush, we're supposed to be working. We can discuss this online afterwards or on a break or whatever. So there's ups and downs on that. I've used the last 2 years to do a lot of painting. I've got a lot of my Marines finished. I've still got about 4 units to paint. But again, between work and seeing my other half and preparing stuff for the roleplay sessions, it's very difficult to find the time to do it. But I am thoroughly enjoying 40k 9th edition. Other than the missions, which I think are very plain and boring because they're all objective based, I'm really enjoying it. Best edition so far. Just GW, bring back kill point missions, bring back tactical objective deck, bring back, capture the table courts, the interesting missions, not just walk over here and hold an objective. The other thing with wargaming is over the last 2 years, back in 2020, I found a fantasy game called The Ninth Age, which is a fan-based game. I will get around to doing a video for that at some point. The reason I haven't is because I haven't actually played it yet. I found it back in the beginning of 2020, and I wasn't a big Warhammer Fantasy fan because of various reasons. One is just overly complicated rules, overpowered armies, and magic system that doesn't really work because basically your game could win or lose on the first turn of casting a spell. It really used to get on my goat. Ninth Age is, I found because I went looking for fantasy models. I can't remember why. But somebody said, oh no, that's right, sorry. Games Workshop at some point in the next couple of years or so are coming out with Warhammer The Old World, which is kind of a historical prequel to Warhammer Fantasy. And I was tempted because we've got people in the local game community who are big Warhammer Fantasy players. And we've got people who are quite casual Warhammer Fantasy players. And I'm like, well, if they fix these issues, I'll be up for playing it. And somebody made a comment on this particular Facebook group for Old World. And they go, I don't play Warhammer. I play Ninth Age. I just joined the group to look at the cool models. And I went, well, what's Ninth Age? And then ended up looking up and finding this war game fan-made, which is basically a 9th edition of Warhammer Fantasy after Games Workshop dropped it for Age of Sigmar. I joined the forums, I've chatted to people. There's some guys that live locally. I've yet to meet them because of COVID and real world things. So I've yet to actually play the game, but I've got basically a beginner's painted army. Let me see, I've got it actually set up here. Let me see if I can just get a decent view of it. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not. There you go. That's a better. So I've basically gone for what was the old Vampire Counts army. Skeletons, direwolves, cavalry, the corpse cart, which is a work in progress, and I've got my characters and a couple of nasty gribbly wing things. And I've spent a lot of time painting those and reading the rules, and and I'm hoping, because that's a bit of a waffle about nothing, I'm hoping to actually get a game of Night Phase at some point. The idea being is once I've got this, I can really sell it to the Warhammer Fantasy guys, because they found things like Kings of War not Warhammer enough, and I think this will really draw them back. I've just got to show them and prove to them that the game is actually worth their time. So fingers crossed, 2022 will be the year that I can get this community going. The other big news that we had in the last few months, I had mentioned previously in a couple of videos that we had a gaming store opening up. Well, Games Hub is not necessarily a gaming store, it's a games cafe. It's basically a place where you can come and play. They sell some food and drinks, you hire a table, and away you go. They're hoping to get stock in well, now January, fingers crossed, some Games Workshop and a few other bits and bobs. At which point I think it will really do well. Now, again, I'm loving it. The guy that runs it is a great guy. There's lots of new people that I've met briefly for the time being through that. We had a cool grand opening day there where we had like the mayor of my hometown, St Neots, and the mayor of Cambridge actually came down and played a Warhammer 40k game with help. It's cool. Again though, there are always cons to the pros. Because of how this is, and the fact that the club lost its venue at the beginning of last year, 2021, I've run our local club, the St Neots Primarchs, for 15 years, give or take. I've run leagues, I've organised tournaments, I've done all this sort of stuff. And now, because we've got a store to do it, I'm feeling like a hole because that's been not taken away from me, but I kind of feel that what I used to do for the club is now being shared around other people and through the store and what have you. And the beginning of this year, starting on the 10th, we have a 1,000 point 40k league to run through the year. You have a 2-week turnaround. It should take us about 7 months to play it. It's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm stoked. But it's going to take me a little while to get over the fact that I'm not running things anymore. I know that sounds really petty and selfish, and it's not. It is, but it's not. But again, going back, it's all part of, COVID has screwed things up for a lot of us, and I kind of feel in a way, if we hadn't had COVID, the club would still exist and we'd have the shoppers at the same time. So it's a big bag of kittens. It's good and bad, But I'm hoping that with the store now open, the fact that people are coming down and playing their role-playing games there, the people are coming down and playing war games, they're playing Magic the Gathering and other card games, we're making a larger community, more so than perhaps we could have done with the Primarchs, because we did have a role-play group there that was meeting up on Tuesdays. We had the War Gamers on a Thursday, and there is certainly it's board gamers who play all the weird board games who would come down whenever there was space. Now we can all do it together, and more people are coming in drawn to it because the shop can publicise itself better than the club can. That's a lot of waffle. And I appreciate it if you listened to that and, didn't think me a bit of a whiny jerk for it. It's been a tough year, is the point. And there's those glasses going in, and I want 2022 to be the light at the end of that tunnel. I want to throw some dice. I want to roll some miniatures, move some miniatures. I want to expand and get back into my hobby, into the thing that is my life. It's a case of, as well, I need to find a new job for myself so that I've got the time to do that, spend some hobby time to myself, spend some time with the girlfriend, and try and live a much more balanced existence. Coming out of COVID, hopefully coming out of COVID, and coming into a new year, that's what I'm looking forward to. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching. Any comments, thoughts, any blog, video suggestions for the year? This is something, again, I wanted to do something about. I'm doing slowing down now because I am running out of topics. The games I have played series, I'm running out of those ideas, and I'm generally not good at coming up with the sort of topics that most people do their hobby gaming videos about. The channel's always been more role play based than war game based, but and I'm not sure how inclusive I really want to be. I want to do a bit of everything, but I don't want to annoy the role players because they're not getting role play material. And if I've got some 40k players and 9th age guys, I don't want them to feel, it's a balancing act. So if anyone's got any comments or ideas, topics I can do videos on that aren't just my opinion, because my opinion is my opinion. It only applies to me. And I always have a hard time coming up with something where I don't feel like I'm preaching at somebody. So if you've got any ideas, suggestions, even just something, throw it down there and I'll see what I can do as a topic. Some more videos. Also having a little bit of a break over the Christmas end of the year period. I want to try and get back into doing a couple of videos a week. But that's where I need your help on these ideas. Anyway, thank you for watching. As I said, I hope you had a really great Christmas. I hope you had a really good New Year. And let's all of us go into 2022 with a much more positive outlook. Roll some dice, move some models, game on. Thank you for watching, guys. Take care and good gaming.